Hello everybody, welcome to Gaming Hour. I'm your host Anthony, and today we are going to be playing the Stanley Parable. This game came out in 2013, and it is essentially like a puzzly exploration type game. And I've really never watched any videos on it, but I've always wanted to play it. So that's what we're going to be doing today. So we're going to join right in. End is never, the end is never, the end is loading never.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Okay.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Okay. Let's see, what do we got here? Looks like we got our monitor. It's back here. Alright, so... Okay. Stepped out of my office.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
They're
Stanley
dead.
decided
They
to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
That's blinding. Well, yeah, so, everyone's dead. Everyone died, horrible, deathly dead, and... yeah, okay.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Why did that shut? Or right? I'm gonna go right.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Alright, I am admiring the lounge room. I think this is the lounge room, is it not?
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room.
Yes.
Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Cold drinks. I wouldn't mind a cold drink. Wanna give me something? Alright,
Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it.
yes, it is. And I think I'll live here. This is my new home, okay? I gotta find a name for the narrator. I think I'm gonna call him...
Stanley's obsession with this
Excuse
room
me.
bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Alright, listen, Dennis. Yeah, I'm calling him Dennis. I don't know. That's just the first name that came to
But at
my
last,
mind.
he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
No.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Oh, yes. Thank you, Dennis. Listen, I want a narrator narrating my entire life. That would be great. Like Morgan Freeman. Dude, I'd friggin' love that.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time. There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her. This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life.
Who's her?
She's been waiting.
Who? What?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Someone needs to fix that light. That is bothering me. This is curious.
As Stanley picked up the phone, a white light engulfed him.
I didn't think that would work.
Not just with radiance, but with hope. Hope for a life reunited one... Wait. Oh, goodness. Stanley, did you just unplug the phone? No, that wasn't supposed to be a choice. How did you do that? You actually chose incorrectly. I didn't even know that was possible. Let me double check.
I didn't think that would actually
Definitely
work.
here, clear as day. Stanley picks up the phone. He's taken to his apartment where he finds his wife, and the two pledge themselves to one another. Music comes in, fade to white, roll credits. Not picking up the phone is actually somehow an incorrect course of action. How is that even possible? None of these decisions were supposed to mean anything. I don't understand. How on earth are you making meaningful choices? What did you... Wait a second. Did I just see... No, that's not possible. I can't believe it. How had I not noticed it sooner? You're not Stanley. You're a real person.
I'm a single independent man who don't need no wife, no
This is
woman.
why you've been able to make correct and incorrect choices. And to think I've been letting you run around in this game for so long. If you've made any more wrong choices, you might have negated it entirely. It's as though you've completely ignored even the most basic safety protocol for real-world decision-making. Or did you not grasp the severity of the situation? Well, I won't have that kind of risk on my watch. I'm going to stop the game for a moment so we can educate you properly on safe decision-making in the real world. Please observe this helpful instruction.
Oh, by all means, Dennis, please.
Choice. It's the best part of being a real person. But if used incorrectly, can also be the most dangerous. For example, in this scenario, a hypothetical real person named Stephen has a choice. He could spend years helping improve the quality of life for citizens of impoverished third world nations. Or he could systematically set fire to every orphan living in a 30-kilometer radius of his house. Which choice would you make? Remember that unlike here, the real world makes sense, and at no time should you make a choice that does not conform to rational logic. If you find yourself speaking with a person who does not make sense, in all likelihood, that person is not real. Allow the person to finish their thought, then provide an excuse why you cannot continue talking. Turn to a partner and practice saying, "My goodness, is it 4:30? I'm supposed to be having a back, sack, and crack."
What? What? Oh, what? Oh. Alright, guys. Oh.
Excellent.
Oh.
Making choices on a regular basis is the best part to a healthy decision-making process. Most medical professionals recommend making at least 8 choices per day.
Only
Do you
8?
make more than 8? Less? And finally, if you begin to wonder if your choices are actually meaningful and whether you'll ever make a significant contribution to the world, just remember that in the vast infiniteness of space, your thoughts and problems are materially insignificant.
Wow.
And the feeling should subside. At this time, your instructor will guide you in an exercise to test and reinforce the material covered in this video.
Oh, excellent.
Ah, welcome back. You may have noticed that this room has begun to deteriorate as a result of narrative contradiction. But not to worry.
Wow.
Now that you're properly informed on good decision-making, we're going to revisit a choice you made just a few minutes ago and see what the correct thing to do would have been. This way, please.
Can I just... No. Okay. Okay. Alright, Dennis, what do you got for me? Go.
Now that we know your choices are meaningful, we
Yes.
can't have you jumping off the platform and dying. Imagine the main character dying senselessly halfway through the story. That story would make no sense at all.
That's
We
true.
just need to get you home as soon as possible before the narrative contradiction gets any worse. Unfortunately, it seems this place is not well equipped to deal with reality.
Why is that? Dennis? Why is this place not equipped to deal with reality? I think this place looks pretty real to me. You know? Oh, I need a key card for that. The quality of this room.
Almost there. You'll take the door on the left, back to the correct ending, the story will have resolution once again, and you'll be home free in the real world.
What if I want to go back to the real world, huh? What if I don't want to? What are you going to do, Dennis?
Now remember, all you need to do is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Oh, this choice is hard. Okay. I really want to be deviant and see what happens, but I also kind of want to see what happens. But I'm not deviant. Oh, God. Yep, we're going right.
No! How did you do that?
Oh, God.
Hurry back in the other direction. Perhaps we're not too late.
Nope, nope. We're committing. We're committing to this. We are definitely going to commit to this. Wow, this is very distorted. This is probably not good. Can I, please? I really want to do this. Okay, I guess I can. I guess I have to be real. Alright. Keep following. Right thing to do.
Oh, it's ruined. Everything we talked about, that my story, you've destroyed my work. Why? For what? What did you get out of that? What did you think was so special about seeing the game undone, left here like so much garbage? It's worthless now. And what am I supposed to do? Even if there were a way to continue, would it be worth it? To know that my story is now incorrect? How can I go back to that? I can't erase that knowledge. I'll have to live with it forever. Reliving its impossibility forever. I couldn't live that way. Is it better to shut the game down entirely? To willingly destroy all of my work? I don't know. What's the answer? What do I do? What do I do? What do I... No, I have to. I have to shut the game down. I have to. I have to.
Do you? Oh, God. Oh, that's terrifying. Oh, that's really terrifying. Okay. I would not like that. Please, Stanley. Dennis. Dennis, you're a good man. You don't have to do the...
Oh, I'm here. I'm still
Dennis!
here in this pile of rubbish. With you. You, who thought you were so clever. Now look where we are. My entire game is destroyed. It was the only thing in the world that was mine, and you run it into the ground. What, did you think that would be funny? You just had to see? Didn't I impress upon you how important it was to be like Stanley? He actually knows how to do what I tell him to. He understands that if I say to do something, there's a damn good reason for it.
I'm not Stanley, Dennis.
It hadn't even occurred to you, had it? That there's a world outside of you? You're a child. Oh, my story. If you'd just gone through the door on the left, you would have seen it. There was a whole underground facility. You would have destroyed it and been victorious. It would have been so perfect. I worked so hard on it. I tried so hard.
Dennis?
Is behave exactly as Stanley would. That means choosing responsibly and always putting the story first. I'm quite sure you'll be up to the task. Just follow my lead and you'll be fine. All right. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
We're really gonna go through this again, Dennis, huh? I think you know my choice.
No! Why did you do that? Quickly, hurry.
Oh, jeez.
His behavior.
Whoa. Dennis! Dennis! Oh god. I think I broke it. I think I broke Dennis. His game.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his
Dennis,
left.
there seems to be a problem. I can't see anything. Dennis, please. I'm sorry. I can't actually see. I'll go your way. Just I can't. I'm having problems. Well, I don't know what to do. Begin game again?
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean?
True.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Perhaps I did. Alright, let's see what happens if I go the left way.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors,
Alright,
he
we'll
entered
go.
the
We'll
door
do
on
what
his
you want,
left.
Dennis. Okay. Alright. Alright, Dennis for the menace.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Perhaps I will. Broom closet. Oh! I didn't think that would work.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
I want this broom. Can I take this broom? No. Alright. No.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
No. Dennis, we've gone through this. I'm not doing that. Okay? Ooh.
But Stanley just couldn't do it.
Nope.
He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished. His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself,
Whoa, wait a
maybe
minute.
I am crazy.
Whoa.
All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a
This
single
is-
moment for no reason at all. None of it made any logical sense.
Wait a minute. Wait a
And
minute.
as
Wait a
Stanley
minute.
pondered this, he
Dennis!
began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked
Whoa,
down?
wait a minute. My
Why
feet.
did doors close automatically behind him?
Dennis,
whenever
you're
he
answering the
moved?
real questions.
And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar. Were they simply repeating?
Yes, they are.
No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief Stanley felt to have finally found an answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above
Whoa,
the ground.
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Then
Dennis!
he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical star field, and it too appeared.
Oh,
it was so
wow.
much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking?
Yeah,
Now
Dennis.
the voice was describing itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought. And while he thought it all very odd and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams, the truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself, believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself?
Dennis, this is really too existential for me. Okay, it's 9:43 in the morning on a Thursday morning. This is not okay.
To Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up. He felt the cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please. It's all I want.
Well, not really. I
I
wouldn't
want
mind
my apartment
flying
and my wife
in space.
and my job. All I want is my life exactly the way it's always been. My
Do I,
life is normal. I am normal. Everything will be fine.
Will it, though? Will it, Dennis?
I am okay.
I am not okay, Dennis. Alright, we're having a... See? It was not a dream.
Stanley began screaming. Please, someone, wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real.
Oh,
I must
God.
be real. I must be. Can anyone hear my voice?
I'm seeing red. This is not... Dennis?
And everything went black.
Whoa. Okay. That's weird. That's very weird.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
What? This is my
Mariella
wife?
woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Oh my
But
God.
on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man who had stumbled through town talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk.
Oh my God.
And although she would soon turn to go call for an ambulance, for just a few brief moments, she considered the strange man. He was obviously crazy. This much she knew. Everyone knows what crazy people look like. And in that moment, she thought to herself how lucky she was to be normal. I am sane. I am in control of my mind. I know what is real and what isn't. It was comforting to think this, and in a certain way, seeing this man made her feel better. But then she remembered the meeting she had scheduled for that day, the very important people whose impressions of her would affect her career, and by extension, the rest of her life. She had no time for this, so it was only a moment that she stood there, staring down at the body. And then she turned and ran.